And welcome everybody to another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast hosted by myself and my sister Megan. Welcome in, everybody.
Hello,
Hello, hello,
hello,
hello, hello.
hello. What's going on?
What's going on? Well, everybody, we have a good episode today. We are reviewing Halloween Ends and how it ended, indeed. Yeah, but before we do, don't eat that, Charlie.
For those who don't know who Charlie is, that would be Evan's dog.
Get that out of your mouth, you weirdo. Before we start, make sure to go to our YouTube page at Come Play With Us Danny Show, hit that notification bell and subscribe button to get all the latest episodes and notifications when new episodes drop. Also go to Spotify, Anchor.fm, Google Play, and Amazon Music for the audio version and all your podcast needs.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween ends. Halloween ends indeed. Well, let's start off by saying this is like a requel to the original movie. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, so I ignored Halloween Part 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming for a direct sequel to Halloween, of course starring Jamie Lee Curtis and directed by the legend John Carpenter himself.
Uh-huh.
Let's go through the first two and then we'll go into Halloween Ends.
Sure.
We were both so on Halloween.
The original?
No, like the requel.
Oh.
We were so on that.
Yeah. We were so on that one.
Yeah, because it wasn't a bad film. It was okay. Like if it's on, I'll watch it. I enjoyed it. Halloween Kills, not so much. And then you think you would end a trilogy like this with an all-out wrap-up of Laurie Strode's,
Keep going.
story with Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just goes in a stupid direction.
That's kindly saying it.
Yes, it goes into a stupid direction. So, anyways, Halloween Ends is, of course, a 2022 American slasher horror film directed by David Gordon Green, co-written by Green and Danny McBride, of all people. Yes, Kenny Powers himself, Paul Brad Logan, and Chris Berner. It stars the legendary Jamie Lee Curtis, Andi Matichak, Ronan Campbell, Will Patton, Kyle Richards of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Jude Courtney. Of course, Kyle Richards was in the original movie as well. She's coming back to play the grown-up version of her character. Yeah. I'll let you take this away. I'll let you take this away.
Why do you... Okay, so we've talked about this in previous shows past, and I was on the fence about watching this movie just because of my suspicions were true when I actually watched it. I started watching it the other day just out of sheer boredom and because it's now free on Amazon.
Yep.
I had to stop halfway through.
I like you.
I would hope so.
I had to watch it because I wanted to see how it would eventually end. Because you're wrapping up her, like, you think you're wrapping up her story, but you're not, and that's what frustrates me, and that I think frustrates a lot of people, is because the whole movie takes like a left turn where it's focusing on this idiot kid he may be evil incarnate, just like Michael.
Yeah, I'm very confused about the Corey character.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why? Okay, listen. You have your movie, Halloween Ends. You have your two central characters, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, who are supposed to face off, which they do at the very end, face off in a last confrontation to wrap up this whole story. But the whole story from the beginning into the middle of the movie is about this dumb kid. Mm-hmm. That's not a Halloween movie. No.
And there wasn't really any focus on Michael Myers except for, like,
the fact that he's old and decrepit and he needs somebody else to kill for him.
Exactly. That's exactly where I went because I was watching it and I said it out loud and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Which Megan, which I gotta ask you a question. Okay, so this pretty much takes everything that Donald Pleasant's character, Dr. Loomis, with him saying in the very first movie, he is pure evil. Mm-hmm. He is evil incarnate. Mm-hmm. Now, go fast forward to Halloween Ends, where you're making Michael. He's subjected to his injuries. He's not moving as fast as he. Well, he never really moved fast, but
no,
he's not evil incarnate anymore. He's old evil. He's geriatric evil. Like he has to have a walker with him when he's trying to murder somebody. So it kind of, to me, that just kind of takes the legacy of that whole. Nothing can stop him. He's pure evil. Like he is unstoppable. He's an unstoppable moving force. Like in the original movie, he's credited as the Shape.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we've gone back to this and we've talked this about it before. How many times Michael Myers has been dismembered, killed, shot, stabbed, burned? Too many.
Many.
In the end, it's literally old age.
Yes, besides like a
well,
crusher.
Besides and that scene too. Scene. I'm not going to fast forward this because that scene pissed me the fuck off. It's oh God, I just Halloween is my all-time favorite movie. Like if you were to ask me it literally is the Halloween franchise. Yes, there's some bumps and bruises along the way, and these, it's always going to be that way. They're always going to throw like one of those like the Season of the Witch, what the fuck was that kind of thing. I don't understand why we had to make this last movie. It did not coincide. It literally it had this Corey kid. Okay, so there was an accident. The kid was a little shit in the first part of the movie. Okay, weird. Yep. I don't know why that even came into play. I was thoroughly confused during this whole movie.
It almost seems like to me like they were like, okay, maybe we should have. Obviously, it almost seems to me they're like maybe hoping for, hey, maybe Michael will pass the torch. He can be the new Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that would have made it so much worse. Yes,
exactly. But I think that's maybe what they were trying to go for is, hey, we've got a new generation Michael Myers. His name's not Michael, it's Corey.
Because, that's really, that strikes the heart fear of everybody is,
Corey.
To me, it felt like...
They should have ended it. They should have ended this. They should have not even done the two sequels after this. They shouldn't have done Halloween Kills. They shouldn't have done Halloween Ends. No. They should have ended it with Halloween, where she locks him in the basement.
Yes.
That's the house on fire.
Yes.
Done. Deal.
Barbecued.
End of story.
Barbecued Michael.
Roasted, toasted.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where they should have ended it instead of going and tried to just.
It shits
on everything. It shits on everything. It shits on every. Like, if I was John Carpenter, I'd be like, you shit on everything I built.
Everything I love.
Everything I like.
This sounds like John Carpenter's dog ate the script like halfway through, and they were like, oh fuck, we have to put something in here now. So let's just throw.
It just seems like lazy writing. And just pure, hey, we're going to mope and crawl to the finish line of this movie.
It wasn't even a good mope and crawl. It was just kind of like...
It was a crawl that was in a wheelchair because Michael Myers was so geriatric and was living in a sewer at the time.
Yeah, like what the... And there's a homeless guy that knew he was there, and the homeless guy, and then Corey goes and...
Talk about an odd setup. Hey, it's the Odd Couple 2023 with Michael Myers and the bum down the street.
It was... And like Corey goes and takes the mask from him, and I'm like... I don't...
Yeah, so, the passing of the torch.
There was no passing the torch because he ends up fucking killing the kid anyway. After he stabs himself in the neck, and then Michael ends up breaking his neck. Like, I don't get it. Jason from Friday the 13th, the guy, I'm sure, was geriatric by the time they hit, like, what, Jason in Space or Jason X or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, remember, Jason X, when he was in space, he got, like, a new body.
I know, but he still...
He became, like, the Terminator.
It was
Jason X.
It was dumb, but he still killed people. Like
Right.
I do not get what happened here.
Even Mrs. Voorhees, who's, well, obviously she was probably 40, even though she looked like she was 70 in the first film, was killing people. And she's a lady. And she's a lady.
And she's a lady.
Even the little person in
Oh.
Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland. You know, the little person, the old little old lady?
Yeah.
She was killing people faster than...
I just don't know what happened.
I think 20th Century Fox still has the property. Maybe it's Blumhouse. Of course it's Blumhouse.
Of course it's Blumhouse.
Universal still owns it. But if like Universal was smart, don't touch this for a while.
Oh God, please don't.
Don't touch it for a while.
No.
At all.
Nobody should touch this at all. In fact, they should probably forget this was even done.
Now, let me ask you, if they wait a little bit and try and reinvigorate the franchise.
How?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, obviously they're gonna try and go and make Michael Myers a lasting horror icon, even though he is. But if they try to not redo it, but like reimagine it or do another requel again.
Okay, so the only way that I think they can do this, the only way, and please don't, whoever's listening to our podcast or whatever, please don't literally take what I just say and do it. The only way that I think they could actually do this is if they go back to an origin story of actual Michael Myers.
Yeah, but you had that already. You had that in the very first film, and then you had that in Rob Zombie's film. Like,
there was
a backstory.
There was a backstory, but I think they could have gone back further. Like, I'm really reaching on this. I really do not know how they could actually... He was crushed in a crusher. Like, I don't know how much more you can do. Like, they literally... And that scene altogether pissed me off because it was literally Laurie and her granddaughter knifing him to a table. Obviously, he's not going to be able to move. And then he was bled out on the table. And then, in a strange event... everybody at fucking Haddonfield all of a sudden walked into a fucking crusher that they just conveniently had in the middle of the street, and Laurie kicked his body in, and that was it. Like, I didn't like look, the ending sucked.
The stabbing and they bled him out. Great. You know what you do next? Wrap him in some trash bags, set him on fire. Bury him in the backyard. You don't need to go do the whole crusher thing, and everybody in Haddonfield's like, doing our part to get rid of Michael.
The one guy in the back of this is not how we do it. And the sheriff, this is how we do it tonight. Like, I don't. You, first of all, sir, you were not involved in the original. Like, you just got thrown in there in like a different kind of thing. But I just do not. But here's the thing: if they did that, if they burned him,
I could see one guy going in the back. It's a bit much. Put him in the crusher. I mean, you let him bleed out on the table. It's a bit much. You know, crushing his body. It's a bit much.
I feel like this is overkill.
It's just a bit. I know Michael's done some terrible things, but it's a bit much.
Does he have to be British too?
Yes, it has to be British in Haddonfield. Yes.
I just don't get it. But here's the thing though: if they burned him and they put him in trash bags and they buried him, there's a good chance he might come back.
Yeah, well, if he still had the stabbings and stuff and bled out, then no.
He was shot multiple times in the other movies.
That's true too, and shot in the eyes and burned. And yes, I don't know. I just for an ending like that to wrap up the Laurie Strode story, it was just like a big middle finger.
Yeah,
it's a pill. I spit. Pew.
And then for her to like she was like writing a novel. Like I was really confused about what was happening there too. Like even as she was talking about like killing herself right halfway, I'm like, you're not gonna kill yourself. Why would you kill yourself at the end of this movie? Why?
Right.
There's no point.
After in the first movie you prepared yourself for him to come back, where you had like guns and bows and arrows. Your house is like fitted like
you had an island in your kitchen that was like sliding trapdoor. Like
yes.
What?
So so now you're gonna like attempt suicide after all this time? Like you're 80 years old now. Now is the time to do this? Yeah,
Let me clarify. I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jamie, if you were ever to listen to our podcast, we both love you to death.
We love you
to death. But Jesus.
I'm really surprised. Maybe she did it just to wrap things up, because obviously she said in interviews like, "Hey, this is it for me. I'm not gonna play this character anymore."
Well, I don't know how you could have. Like,
Well,
by the time they re-earth this character, if they do, please tell me they don't. She'll be dead, or she'll be in her 100.
I feel if she's smart, she won't ever revisit this again, because I'm sure she looked at the script and probably was like, "Whatever. All right, let's do it.
I'm out.
I'm out."
Oh God! That movie was almost worse than watching Skinamarink. At least Skinamarink, I had somewhat of a
I wouldn't put it on that. No, because Skinamarink was just like, should I be on drugs when watching this movie? Like, I really wanted to like eat shrooms and watch that movie.
I feel like
then I would have been like, I'm in the movie now, and I should be on the floor looking at the angles of this film.
I don't know. It was just, it was painful to watch, and I hate when they do this to franchises, because especially when they end it like they do. Right. I just don't like. I don't feel like they did Michael Myers justice. I feel like they just kind of was like, you know what? Screw you, Michael Myers. This is what's happening. They're gonna throw you in a fucking crusher.
Yeah. I'm
glad
it was free.
Oh yeah, because I would have asked for my money back if I had paid money for this.
I kind of wanted to do that after watching Pearl, but we'll talk about that in a different episode.
I still have to see that movie. So
you see it, we'll talk about it on the next episode.
That's fine. Well, next episode we're not doing that. We're doing the other one.
Well, the episode after that we'll do it.
That's fine.
Okay. So we both give Halloween Ends thumbs down. Boom. All right, movie news. Movie news. Terrifier 3, we all knew was coming because of the box office and critical success of Terrifier 2.
Yep.
Talk about it a bit much for the movie. Terrifier 3 will be coming with an even bigger budget for Part 3. It was reported today that, yes, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown will be back. Lauren Lavera as Sienna will be back too as well.
Are they bringing back the little shitting kid?
Probably. I mean, even the little girl too. Like, look, the budget's going to be in the millions this time, so this could be Terrifier in space for all we know.
Oh, you know, it'd be cool if they did Terrifier 3D.
No, I hate 3D movies. No,
oh,
can't do it. Can't do it. I don't know. What do you think about it? Do you think they should take the bigger budget, or do you think they should like keep it as a smaller budget? Because now you're kind of okay. Look, they made $15 million off of a $250,000 budget. Mm-hmm. Now you're going into an even bigger budget. Now you're kind of risking. Obviously, you're going to have more freedom to be more creative, effects, and all that stuff. Like,
I think that they shouldn't, and I'll tell you why.
I don't think so either. I'll keep it.
Yes.
Minimal.
Because
yeah.
If they were to take the bigger budget, yes, you leave yourself open for better special effects. You leave yourself open for better scenes, better filmography. But here's the problem. That's not what this movie was made off of. Right. This movie was made off of cheaply looking special effects. That's the type of movie it's supposed to be. And I feel like if they took a bigger budget, then
everything's all CGI.
Yeah, like you're sawing somebody in half CGI wise. Like I feel like this movie has made its fame on its cheesy sci-fi effects, or not sci-fi, or cheesy effects.
I think Damien Leone is smart enough to know not to maybe do that, because the first two movies were just so low budget, and look, for a low budget movie they look great. Practical effects across the board for both movies were great.
Yeah, and I am the queen of practical effects. I would prefer those rather than CGI any day.
But I think this opens up to where maybe like the cinematography could be like better, and then maybe locations too. But it also opens up your budget for better practical effects.
That's true too.
So,
I think he's a smart guy. I think he'll do it as much. I think he'll do the film justice, because I don't want, as much as I think Terrifier is just a hokey movie. Yeah. I do applaud everybody for getting such high ratings on it. Yeah. However, me seeing the second one, we've talked about it, I don't know how people were walking out of the theater throwing up. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, there's some people that just can't take the fact that people get sawed in half or chopped up or anything like that.
And then they keep moving. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, so speaking of John Carpenter, obviously with the Halloween films and his legendary career, John Carpenter did tease the other day about the possibility and potential The Thing Part 2. That's right. The Thing Part 2. Now, I know you don't like this.
No.
I'm kind of okay with this to a point, because if they do this movie, can't be CGI, because the prequel did that horribly. Like the effects look stupid. Like if you're gonna do The Thing Part 2,
practical effects,
it's got to be practical all the way. But here's my question to you, Megan. Though, are you taking it from the end of the first movie and continuing it on? Because at the end of the first movie, it was just ambiguous about what happened to Childs and McCready.
I don't know. Honestly, I think that they should take it from the first movie. That's just me.
Yeah, but are you going to use an 80-year-old Keith David and an 80-year-old Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. You could use... Oh, great bit of casting here, right here. Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt.
Who looks just like him.
Looks just like Kurt Russell. And then Michael B. Jordan in the Keith David role as Childs.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
It's too bad that Jonathan Irons got in some trouble, because you could use him in the Child's role.
Yes.
Because those are both great actors, and I think they would knock it out of the park. So, but if they did that, or maybe you fast forward it like 50 years, and you use old man Kurt Russell where he's gone insane, and
or you still use Kurt Russell in the beginning of the film. And
de-aged?
Yes, and then insert Wyatt and Michael B. Jordan as like
present day. No, not present day, but like
either sons
6 months after,
or 6 months, or prodigies, or whatever. Just to kind of still pull it in, because I think they still would use Kurt Russell. I mean, he's not that old.
He doesn't look 80, but he's like 80 years old.
No, and what my fear was, if they did do Kurt Russell, they would try to de-age him, because that crap that they're doing now with certain movie stars is they're de-aging them in films.
Oh, yes, he's 72. See, it could work, because for the new Indiana Jones movie, for a 20-minute section of the movie, it's all de-aged Harrison Ford, and from what I've seen in the trailer and some clips, it looks fantastic. But of course, you're having 80-year-old Harrison Ford's body, who's moving around kind of geriatric. But that's the problem. Like, there's potential with The Thing too, but you have to I would say recast. But you use Wyatt Russell, because he looks so much like his dad, and he's not a bad actor, and then Michael B. Jordan or somebody else in the child's role.
Okay. I can go with that. Does Blumhouse have anything to do with this movie?
No.
Because I thought they did.
I don't think so.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I read something different. They were trying to do a spin-off of the movie, which obviously never came out, thank God.
So I don't know who has the rights of it now, but like Carpenter has said he's thinking about it, or he might be writing it soon. But he's 80 years old, so he's got to get going on it too.
Okay.
So. All right, moving on. One of our other pieces of story. So it is finally the nail on the coffin, per se. Robert Englund, the horror icon himself, Freddy Krueger, has said he is done playing Freddy Krueger. He is done playing Freddy. And the reasons why, he says he's just too old. His body can't handle stunts or the physical movements that he used to do back when he played Freddy. So he said he is now totally done playing Freddy Krueger. It is now time to pass the hat and the glove of knives to somebody else.
Good for him.
Good for him. He's a legend, man. He's been in so many films. He will always be Freddy.
I mean, that's like Doug Bradley not doing Pinhead anymore. Like,
True.
Good for them. Good for them. The people that do these films. However, Nick Castle was in this last Halloween movie as the Shape, or as Michael Myers, which I love Mike Castle, but good for him. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know who the hell they would get to play Freddy if they're thinking about doing another one.
The remake with Jackie Earle Haley was meh.
That remake pissed me off.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it whatsoever.
His voice in the movie was like, "We all float down here." It almost sounded like that. His voice.
It's like a Judd.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like how they made Freddy out to be more of a child molester. Like that, I didn't like that. That wasn't okay for me. Like I'm not. That was something that, like, if in the prior movies, if that was something pertinent, it was never really brought out, and then the remake they just kind of vomited it everywhere. So
Yeah, and it was almost like just like a shot for shot remake too of the first film. So.
yeah, I wasn't okay with that.
All right, final news and movie news: Robert Eggers' Nosferatu has officially wrapped filming.
Ooh.
So will be going into post production, and will probably hit theaters sometime in 2024.
Fantastic.
I'm looking forward to this.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Who's
Great
playing?
cast. Well, Pennywise himself, Bill Skarsgård, is playing Nosferatu.
Are they putting him as Nosferatu?
Yes.
Okay.
Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, is in it. Nicholas Hoult. Willem Dafoe is in it as well.
As who?
I don't know, but he's in it. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson, and Simon McBurry all stars. So it's a great cast.
Wow, that's a huge cast.
Great cast. Like, casting is knocking out of the park for this one. So, but yeah, official filming is wrapped, and it'll be in post production pretty soon. So hopefully we see a trailer of Nosferatu.
Okay.
And that's
All
it
right.
for movie news.
Okay. Well, I got just maybe two things. So for those, again, who are going to Howling Horror Nights this year, I try to keep you guys updated. There has been an update to the map. So they say that the Demon Slayer rumor is probably true. For those who don't know what Demon Slayer is, it is a anime. So they've updated to Holidays in Hell. The Exorcist Believer looks like that might be the input for Blumhouse. Looking at Terror Tram, Celebrities, Monsters in Paris, and Chucky has actually been the only thing that has actually been clarified. Weirdly enough, they have not dropped anything else. I've been trying to look all over the place, just to try to find any other things speculation-wise. I have not dropped anything. So this is a different change, and I know what I'm reading is the Hollywood, but they give the same thing for Orlando. So they haven't clarified exactly what everything is, because they just flipped the script just last month and changed it from what they had before. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there either. I have no idea. Second thing for me is for those who saw our last show or listened to our last show, Charlie's Horror and Sci-Fi Con is going on this weekend in Sarasota. It is the the third and the fourth down in Sarasota at the Sahib Temple. For those who still would like to go, he's got a huge lineup, guys. I actually looked at a lot of his people that are coming guest-wise are fantastic. We did have two people that actually won those tickets or actually had those tickets, so good luck to them going down there and check it out. Charlie is posting a bunch of stuff all over his website. He has a website and he has Instagram and Facebook. So those who follow us, please follow Charlie and go down there. I know he did a live video feed with one of his vendor guys today, which I actually tuned in on, which was really good. So yeah, it looks like it should be fun.
Cool. I was gonna try and go to it, but I'll be at Sun and Fun this weekend, so I can't go.
I'll be working.
Well, there you go. So, well, good luck, Charlie. We hope the con is a success, and
Yes.
You'll do more of them. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast. Make sure to go to our YouTube page at Come Play With Us, Danny Show. Hit the notification bell and subscribe button to get our new episodes, which are going to drop every single week. We've got a new one next week with Haunt. Haunt is a great movie. We're going to review that, and then the week after, or maybe the same week, we'll do Pearl.
Possibly, yes.
So make sure to tune in.
Yes.
So for myself and Megan, we will see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.